guys, welcome back. So today I want to do a quick test, do a demonstration of headspace. Now there's a lot of discussion, not a lot, there's a couple folks on the internet, some well known, some not, talking about if the gun heats up, the headspace will change, so much so that a gun that was formerly in headspace at ambient temperature suddenly goes out of headspace because you were shooting the gun. If that were true, that would mean the more you shot your gun, the more likely it would be to blow up in your face. So I know that's not true, but I want to demonstrate that.
So if your diameter is 0.395 at 340 degrees above your gauging temperature, a very hot firearm just starting to smoke your furniture a little bit, you're going to have an expansion of that 0.395 of 0.000816. Now, it might not seem like very much. It's almost a thousandth of an inch, but the gauge is going to be able to go double that distance inward because of the expansion of this wall is going to double the distance. So that's 0.001632 at 340 degrees above the temperature of your gauging tools. Now, that added to the other linear expansion of this section is going to work out to enough distance for a no-go gauge to lock into a chamber pretty easily.
Yeah. Even if the chamber was actually okay, it would lock in. So again, we're just saying, I'm not saying that the one in the video wasn't wrong. I'm just saying that without due diligence, it would be possible to make a good firearm fail a test for no other reason than it was hot.
Okay, so what we have here is an AK. This is a Wasser 1063, and I'm going to go ahead and do a headspace test the way it was done previously in a very controversial video, which is to take a go gauge. All right, take my go gauge, drop it in the chamber. I'm just going to pop the extractor over the rim. Okay, so I got the extractor over the rim, and I'm able to get the bolt to close on the go gauge. It should close on the go gauge. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and pop that one out, put it back in my pocket, grab a no-go gauge, and it should pass that as well. Now I do have a field gauge with me. Should it fail a no-go test, so I have the no-go gauge in there. I'm just going to pop the extractor over the rim, and it cannot close. So you can see the distance right there that it's not closing on. All right. So now what we're going to do, I'm going to pull this one out. There's the gauge, the extractor pulled it out, put the gauge back in my pocket. And we're just going to worry about the no-go gauge at this point. So I'm going to grab 6 magazines here, and I'm going to fire at roughly the same cadence that we had fired in that test video that's now infamous. And then we're going to get the gun nice and hot. Then we're going to do a no-go test to see if it suddenly fails the no-go test for some reason. All right? So, versus me talking, let's start shooting. All right, 1 magazine down. Go ahead and drop that one right there. All right, gun's starting to cook off some oil there. And we're just letting the heat soak through the gun. Grab another magazine here. Burning off some oil there. May actually get the plastic melting. We'll see. All right, 2 more mags. Go ahead and stick one in my back pocket here. And our last magazine. So this gun's getting nice and toasty. I can feel the heat coming off of it. Let's let that heat soak throughout the gun, just like we did that now infamous day. All right, there we go. Now, the gun's nice and hot. Gun is empty. See it smoking there. Gonna go ahead, put the no-go gauge in there, and pop that rim. Pop the extractor, whoops. Pop that extractor, I should say, over the rim of the no-go gauge. Gauge. All right, so it's in there. And same distance. So how's that possible? Well, yes, metal does expand equally. Now we did a previous test where we put the gun in an oven and got it up to about 330 degrees. And we did the exact same test, and one of the apologists online who claims to be a scientist said that we didn't do the test right. And so he even went out and said, I'm going to get a rifle and I'm going to shoot it, not put it in the oven. I'm going to shoot it and see what happens, and he would admit if he's wrong. And he would be wrong if it passed a no-go gauge like this one is. All right? So, guys, the reality is, if a gun fails a no-go test, you need to get it serviced. You need to have a gunsmith look at it. The next gauge would be a field gauge, and the field gauge is going to tell you that the gun's a grenade. You don't want to wait until it gets to the field gauge failure. You want to get it looked at at no-go, because it's still safe, but you need to get it looked at, especially if the gun goes from passing the test and 500 rounds later failing the test. The gun's losing headspace very quickly. Now, take it for what it's worth. I'm cautioning you to err on the side of safety. Others are going to say, the gun's safe, shoot it until it blows up. I'm not going to tell you that, because that's highly irresponsible. If the gun fails a no-go test, get it serviced. All right, guys, if you have any questions, ask those questions down below. If you'd like to support us here at the Military Arms Channel, a great way to do that is to become a Patreon supporter. There's a link down below. Follow that link and consider supporting us here at the Military Arms Channel. Also, another great way to support us is to pick up one of our t-shirts at the Forge from Freedom store. Have a link down below. Pick up a t-shirt, that directly supports us here at the channel. And last but not least, be sure to swing by and check us out at coppercustom.com. And we are Twitch gamers, so there's a link down to our Twitch account. Follow that link, follow us, and check out some of the live action games that we do. Guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for 11 years of support, and we'll talk to you guys soon.